Hey, welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff. Some technical glitches as usual, as per the course. Welcome to On the Chain. Today's show, we are going to dig in. Why? Because there was a bombshell that was just dropped on the Ripple case, on the SEC v Ripple case. Something just happened. Judge Torres just shook up the settlement. And so we got to get into that. We want to workshop this a little bit. Just so many things going on. And just when you think it's over, guess what? It's not. So in today's live stream, we're going to break down the latest procedural twist in that Ripple v SEC saga. And just when you thought it was over, I honestly thought we'd put all this behind us. No more discussion on this case. Judge Torres has denied the motion for the settlement. And so it's interesting as these voices come together. So we're going to get in and review some of the top legal voices who are weighing in. We're going to go over some of the takeaways from Stu Alderoty, and then Eleanor Terrett had some really great coverage as well, going through and interviewing a few key attorneys. We'll kind of break it down as we go through. And what does this mean for XRP holders moving forward? Case just doesn't end. It is really, really amazing. And yet here we are. So I'm going to dig in. If you guys are ready, we're going to kick this thing off here in 1 second. 1 second. Here we go. Ready? Let's go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
And for this, I think we need to go a little bit harder. How about this one? Let's go. Let's dig into this. Give a quick shout out to where you guys are tuning in from. It'll be really cool to see where everybody's tuning in from coast to coast, from country to country. We've got Belgium here. I know that for a fact. So we'll go in. What is Chad commenting on here? Judge Torres said, hey, SEC, waste 5 years of my time. Here's some flaming hoops you need to jump through. That's it. Man, it's crazy just when you thought it's over. Before we get into that, though, let's go check out some of the things that were going on over at the Dubai FinTech. Why? Because we got, let's see, Reese Merrick, who's the Senior Executive Officer, Managing Director, Middle East and Africa over at Ripple. And so he was interviewed on Web3 TV. So I'm going to pull that up. We're going to play that. We're going to go through. We'll go into some of the cool stuff first, and then we'll dig into the court case. So we'll do some of the fun first. See what's going on over there at the FinTech over in Dubai. So hang on a second. Here we go. Let's play this.
Hello, Web3 TV. I'm Lisa Amnegard, and today we're at the Dubai FinTech Summit 2025. And joining me right now is Reese Merrick, Managing Director for the Middle East and Africa for Ripple. So thank you so much for joining me today.
You're welcome. Great to be here.
And how's your day so far?
Awesome. Look, I think it's our third year at the Dubai FinTech Summit. I think the energy is high. There's tons of people already, and we're really busy. So, yeah, very hopeful it's going to be a great event.
And Ripple has been very busy in the last year. So can you tell me a little bit what's happening there and what's new?
Absolutely. So Ripple primarily known for our cross-border payment, which utilizes XRP and XRP Ledger to move value in real time. But we've since become, I would say, a digital asset and blockchain infrastructure provider. So we offer custody solutions to large FIs and enterprise customers. We've also recently announced that we have launched our RLUSD, which is a USD-backed stablecoin as well. So plenty going on at Ripple.
Definitely. And I know that you just received your DFSA license for the UAE. So can you tell me a little bit, what does that mean for Ripple?
Look, this is huge. Ripple were the first blockchain-enabled payment solution provider to get licensed fully approved from the DFSA. So what that means is we can serve entities in the region. So that's FIs, payment service providers, large enterprise customers with our cross-border payment solution. Today we've done over 35 million transactions, over $70 billion worth of volume. So, we're very optimistic on the growth that we'll see here in the region.
Definitely. And when it comes to cross-border payments and blockchain-enabled finance, Ripple has been at the forefront of this. So what kind of role do you see that having in, let's say, traditional finance?
So this is really getting into, and I think some really good questions, because now we're seeing what, where blockchain, fintech, all these things are coming together on a global stage, really making some big impacts on traditional financial infrastructure. We've talked about it for a long time, obviously, but now I believe it's really starting to resonate at a much higher level, where we're starting to see, obviously, it's a fintech event. However, we're seeing financial institutions all over the world that are coming to the table now, because they realize this is it, So let's see where we're at here. How he responds
going forward?
I think there's definitely a convergence between DeFi and TradFi, and that we've certainly seen over the last 12, 18 months. And I really think that's come from regulation. Regulation is allowing large financial institutions to basically offer digital asset solutions, whether that's through tokenization, whether that's through allowing them to buy, sell, hold crypto for their consumers. And as a result, Ripple are, at the forefront of that, to be able to facilitate the services that they want to be able to get involved with.
Definitely. And also the DFSA has been sort of driving growth and innovation. So how has that helped Ripple in innovation, and what kind of plans do you have for the UAE?
Look, Ripple are a global entity, but we want to be able to operate in jurisdictions where there is, firstly, regulation, and B, support from the top down. And you get that in the Middle East. You get that in Dubai with the DFSA and other regulators in the region, which is phenomenal.
So another, really big point regarding regulation, regulatory clarity, some of the things that have been holding fintech back. Obviously, now one of the big movements I believe that we're seeing with Ripple is a departure from the XRP asset, still utilizing the ledger, still, focusing in on fast movement. However, now with the RLUSD, moving global financial institutions over to the platform a lot easier when they are moving and transacting up front. Like, from their perspective, the front asset that they're using will be a stable coin, dollar to dollar. And, I think it's easier for them also from a calculation perspective, especially given, the situations now from a regulatory perspective. Even if they're utilizing XRP on the back end to move money, what is the impact of moving money in and out of XRP, even if it's a fractional change in valuation? What does that mean for the financial institution, given that there's potentially a realized gain or loss potential, potentially, if you're directly using XRP, if the XRP is being used in the back end of the technology to provide liquidity and move money, and it's a third party that's facilitating, and yet, financial institution A is moving to B, there's still a transaction element in the middle. So now if they look at it, they almost don't even need a third party to transact, because as long as they can move it through the solution, they say, hey, I'm holding $1 million of RLUSD. I'll send you $1 million of RLUSD. And if Ripple is now the bridge, that's it. That's there's not a lot more from the direct movement. Now, when the financial institutions start look at all the DeFi components that can be built in and around it, the significance, the importance of the smart contracts and everything else that has to be orchestrated, when we're going to start seeing the inner workings, hopefully, with Flare and some of the other platforms that are going to help medium and small size business to also expand into the space. Because right now the hyper focus, and has been for a while, is all a big financial institution. What about small business and medium-sized business? Because that's where there's also a massive real life glitch in the system that really needs some direct resolution. Because small business, medium-sized business is what makes the world go round. It's not all just big financial institutions. So, we definitely need to, see some movement and some more development in that direction. So, all right, let's this is, what is this one? This from an article over here on CoinDesk. Let me hang on. This is Portnoy. Hang on. What is this interview here? Because this is going to be, let's see what this is all about. Let me get this expanded. So this is, why does Stoll president own XRP? This is going to be interesting. Let's bring this back up to light. Here we go. All right.
I remember I was trying to buy an apartment in Miami, and I got outbid by a crypto bro. And I'm just like, that bastard. Yeah, he just bought, he heard about Bitcoin when it was, I don't know, $8, $7. It's up on 100. I've slaved for 20 years, and he just outbid. So yes, there's 100% of FOMO on everything. I think that's the meme coin. That's general. I mean, I don't know, Bitcoin. I don't know if there's as much FOMO now. It's so established, but like, that's why I'm in XRP. Like that it's FOMO. It's not like I have some grand belief in it, but it's what, $2, 40 cents or something like that. It's like, what if that's the next Bitcoin? So FOMO, I think, plays a huge part. I remember
FOMO is real. FOMO is definitely
an apartment in Miami, and
FOMO is definitely real. And so that's an interesting point. And I look across the board. Obviously, that's why people are getting into meme coins and things like that, because the FOMO is for real. All right, let's start. Let's dig in here into the court case. Hang on one second. Trying to stack everything up. I got to get rid of this one. Hang on 1 minute. Get rid of Portnoy. Bring this one over here. We'll get into some Stu Alderoty. Then he's going to talk about some of the changes of what just transpired. We have multiple posts, and we'll kind of go down. And Stu Alderoty, I think, had some very key significant statements to make specifically in and around what just transpired. And so we need to, I'm just trying to open up. No, it's the same exact post. Why do we have that one duplicated? Here's Eleanor Terrett. Just making sure I have the right articles to review. So, okay, let's bring this one up and let's get into this one. So Stu Alderoty is going to comment here on James Filan's comment as well. So let's start right from the top. First and foremost, as he makes his comment, and we have to go back to the original, outcome of the court case, which was XRP was deemed a non-security. All right. So Stu Alderoty says, no, first and foremost, nothing in today's order changes Ripple's win, i.e. XRP is not a security, etc., because that was already settled. It was already in the case. That's what Judge Torres had originally come out in her decision. This is about procedural concerns with the dismissal of Ripple's cross appeal. Because now we had cross appeals going on. Ripple and the SEC are fully in agreement to resolve this case, and we'll revisit this issue with the court together. So, but now Judge Torres is basically making them go back and do even more homework on it. But James Filan is basically saying Judge Torres has denied the party's motion for an indicative ruling. If jurisdiction were restored to this court, the court would deny the party's motion as procedurally improper. So obviously there was something going on, and she's saying, hey, there's an issue and we're kicking this back, and and you guys got to sort it out. But it's an interesting statement. It does seem like it's more delay versus, let's just come right out and, here's our, let's just get this thing. Let's just get this thing done. But I like how, Stewart is very succinct and very quick to come out and say, hey, listen, still doesn't change anything. Let's calm down and let's get focused. So let me get over here. So Eleanor Terrett, had some interesting take on it as well, mainly because she went and interviewed, multiple different legal sources to get some commentary. And she's also commenting on James Filan here as well. So if we look through what Eleanor, and she talked to John Deaton. So here, after speaking with three legal, or I guess she tuned into John Deaton's live analysis. After speaking with three legal sources and tuning into John Deaton's live analysis, my read, this Eleanor Terrett, is that Judge Torres is playing hardball. She's not making it. She's not making it easy for the parties to simply walk away. Instead, she'll make them work for it. So it's an interesting, commentary that, hey, we can't just end this thing. You guys have only been at it for 4 or 5 years. So how about, let's go another 6 months. Deaton raises a valid point. From Torres' perspective, the SEC has spent the past 5 years doubling down on a narrative and legal strategy that resulted in thousands of hours of legal and judicial manpower, only for the agency to suggest that those 5 years were essentially a waste. And it's just really unfathomable, also considering that we have Doge and we have, scrutiny on every last dollar and dime that's being misappropriated or misused within government. So that audit's taking place. What about the misuse of judicial manpower, especially in a case like this, where you see, Gary Gensler obviously had, a specific mission, whether it was his own or if it was orchestrated through specific senators that we've all spoken about. But there was obviously an objective for him to crush the crypto space. So was that a misuse of judicial manpower? Was that a misuse of millions and millions and millions of dollars of taxpayer dollars? So here we have, while Torres has denied their initial request, she outlined a clear path forward, provided the SEC and Ripple can meet the legal standards and present a compelling case that withdrawing her ruling is in the best interest of the public and institutional buyers of XRP. So this is going to be, it's going to, it's kind of crazy. I like, you got King Christopher saying it's all a show, just wake up. So the timing of it is really, really interesting. The timing, the delay, we have tons and tons of winning going on right now. And why delay it now? Why is she all of a sudden saying, after there was already agreement, it was already getting ready, to move into a positive space. And then here you go. So Stu Alderoty mentioned Ripple will work with the SEC to revisit the issue together. Pretty wild, considering they've been on opposite sides for nearly 5 years, but also consider that we have a completely different SEC at this point, new administration, new everything, and new objective, new focus, pro crypto, pro Bitcoin, pro XRP. It's a whole different initiative, a whole different agenda. And so even the discussion point, and so it might not be a bad thing to say, hey, under new administration, new SEC, let's come together, work through this together, and also, find a positive outcome on the other side, because whatever they finalize and agree to can also be used as court case precedent as we move through this navigating of regulatory clarity. So it'll be even more interesting to see if Torres eases up once they've done the necessary work, or if she sticks to her guns and makes this more of a political fight. So there you go. It could be very, political. Again, who just mentioned it up here that Andy was saying, hey, big shocker, Torres was appointed by Obama. So welcome, Chip. Chip got stuck.
Jeff. Got stuck in traffic.
Getting ready to wrap up the show.
I think you just started it. So I'm good. I'm in good shape.
Yeah, about 8 minutes ago.
Sounds good. Yeah, it's good.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome, everybody. Yeah.
There you
She
go.
got time.
I'm always forgetting it's Pepsi to Coke. There's a lot of that. Man, there's all sorts of crazy things going on right now. So that was kind of it's interesting, Chip, just the whole timing of this. Why now? What exactly is the objective? Why delay it further? And is it a net positive? As I was saying, just as you came in, we have a brand new SEC coming together with Ripple, which could also, assess and anything they decide on will go down into judicial books or into law books and can set case precedent, and negotiation and settlement precedent for anything that happens in the crypto space. So any move at this point could also have an impact on regulatory clarity on anything that they're trying to achieve. They'll say, hey, well, look at how they settled this. Look at what happened. Therefore, let's do X, Y, Z. So I don't know if it's a negative, positive. I think it's somewhere in the middle, that it just keeps dragging on instead of being done. ETX, small business, said, Jeff, if Ripple can't sell and only retail is liquidity and the ETF approves before institutional clarity, wouldn't that cause Shane Willis theory to occur on the centralized exchange? 30-minute AIM in 11 days for BTC ETF. That's pretty deep. You remember Shane Willis? Shane Willis had a super in-depth.
Was it Shane Willis or was it something else?
Was
a
it?
name?
No, it's Ellis. Wasn't it Ellis?
Shane Ellis.
Shane Ellis. Yeah.
It's like, who's Shane Willis? I don't know who that is.
Shane Ellis. I'm gonna have to, let me see if I can find that.
Shane Ellis. Yeah, Shane Ellis theory. Well, this is actually very simple. There's nothing complicated about this at all. It's what Deaton talked about in his he did a live stream the day that it was denied. And it's what Freddie Rispoli is saying here. It's the fact that the meeting, the parties didn't request the relief under the right rule of civil procedure. They basically took a shortcut, say, okay, let's get together, let's take a shortcut, let's just file it. And the judge called them on it, and they have to refile under the correct rule. Yep. This is Freddie saying, you read between the lines, Ripple and the SEC need to get on all fours and beg for relief. Also, too, the fact is like Deaton said the same thing about the idea of them wasting 5 years of the court's time, tying up all kinds of resources, energy. It doesn't matter what kind of SEC it is today. You still got to follow the law. You still got to follow the right procedural, correct under the correct rule. So this is the judge being very, just calling it to the books the way it should be. And again, they're not going to let them off the hook that easily. And I don't know, did you put Stu Alderoty's post up there?
Yeah, I've already covered that.
Yeah, it's easy. There's not a big.
That was pretty straightforward.
Pretty straightforward. It's not a big thing. And everybody flipping out over this. I had to go back and forth with some people yesterday, and I was like, okay, man, at some point you just got to say like, okay, you're not in the right headspace to understand. That's okay. You can't argue with people. People like, it's not a win. It's not this. It's not that. Ripple is denied. I'm like, dude, it's none of that. Nobody cares. And the bottom line is, Andy
brings up a good point, though. It's hard to imagine all the lawyers didn't know the correct rule.
They took a shortcut, dude. They do know that's the whole point. They do know the correct rule, but they should have filed it on. They took a shortcut. They said, we both agree, and then that's it. And then they filed it. Okay, and that's not how it works. It's got to be done per procedure. And you don't think attorneys take shortcuts?
Yeah, they do, but typically, not in such a major case.
Well, you also have two.
It's based on federal.
Jeff, you also have two people here as well, right? You have two people here that two teams. They're following the SEC's lead. They thought they could just go ahead and get away with it pretty fast, and no, it's not how it works. So, when I saw Stu's tweet, I was like, okay, this is spot on. He doesn't care. This is like a simple thing. Yeah. And when he said he was just going to get with the SEC, I'm like, that's something new. You're not. Oh, well, don't worry. We'll get with the SEC. We'll work it out. That's a new day,
also
right?
A brand new SEC. Yeah, that's
right.
The other component of it. Anything they decided on previously was under a different SEC. So now moving forward, there had to have been also requests to say, hey, regardless of what you guys put together before, it was a different administration, different SEC. We need to go towards, positive outcome. go back and redo this. It
And,
it does make sense from a lot of different levels. Plus, plus it's another delay. You know, what exactly is happening? You know, why delay it? And we don't even know how long it's going to take.
we don't
Could be a
know.
long, you know, could be months.
So, it could be months. We
Could
how
be
do we
6
know?
months. Could be a year.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be that long, quite honestly. And again, none of this matters. I know about people are talking about institutional sales and this and that, and can Ripple do this? Look, man, if they can't, the first rule number one is get the rhinos out of Congress, because you had 5 rhinos vote down the bill that was that there should be no disparaging with, no messing with, which is the tax cuts, redoing the tax cuts that were passed, from the Trump's last term, right? They expire. You got 5 Republicans. I'm glad they named themselves. Every one of them will be primaried. Everyone will be removed. They will be removed forcibly. They could go out there. That's the problem with Congress, is what you have: rhinos, RINO, Republican, and name only. You got to get them out. So you got to get these losers. You got to get them out. If you don't vote party line and what the people voted for, you're done. So they just ousted themselves. Their districts are going to get ready to put up a candidate. They'll get primaried and they'll be out. They'll be out on their ass. So this is how it's done. This is how it's done. So you have to. That's the first thing that's going to happen. Second thing is you got this. They're putting together. They put together cloture for the new bill that didn't pass last week, and everybody was like, "Oh, Congress, woo ho, boo hoo," because you had people like Josh Hawley, who's pretty solid. He voted against the stablecoin Genius Act, they call it, and they're putting it's gonna go to a floor vote. Now you had Gillibrand coming out, you had some other prominent Republicans coming out. They got the changes that they wanted. One of the big changes that they wanted in that bill was they wanted to prevent big tech and just anybody, and even foreign countries, from launching. Basically, we saw what happened in the XRPL when the meme coins went live. Meme coins went live. There were 2, there were 3, then there were hundreds, then there were over 1,000, right? So many of these damn meme coins. What they don't want to happen is they do not want a scenario where you're pegging it to the dollar. There has to be some standards around it. So they had to put some standards around who can launch it. They didn't want big tech, Google, Apple, IBM, Amazon. They didn't want them launching their own stable coins. And so they put some line. That was one of the things that Josh Hawley wanted in there to sort of protect the launching of it. And then there were some things about foreign countries launching stable coins. So these were some necessary things. They were trying to rush it. People were like, rush it? It's been 3 months. Yeah, it is. But this is for Congress. It moves pretty slow there, Jeff. We talked about this a lot. That the checks and balances, they're designed for legislation not to fly through. Even when you have both sides, there's ways you do need some bipartisan support here. And I don't have any doubt. I called it last week. I mean, we read this the other day with 2-Bit Idiot, and John Deaton said, "Oh, woe's me, we're not going to get it." I'm like, this is going to pass. There's one little simple thing. They need some changes. They're going to put it through and they're going to pass it. But really, none of this matters. The only thing that matters is that FIT 21 bill. Jeff, I looked it up this morning. Do you know when the FIT 21 passed last year? A year ago, May. It's a year ago. They passed it in the House, and it's been sitting in the Senate. We rolled over to a new Congress in January, and here we are back in May, almost in June, and yet that FIT 21. So I mean, the stablecoin bill, yeah, that's sovereignty, that's the U.S., that's USD, that's promoting, it's the reserve currency, it's all of those things. But what it isn't the crypto bill. So that's the bill that we care about. And the SEC is just like the old SEC, but they're just, it reminds me of socialism. It's like when a country tries socialism, Jeff, they're like, socialism, I know it didn't work for anybody else. We know how to implement it. If you just give us a shot, we know how to make socialism work. We're going to make communism work. I know it just didn't go off so well, and then they do the same thing. That's the SEC. So the old SEC, Gensler gone, Gensler moves out. Now you got, Crypto Mom beating her chest, and we're going to do this. Right. We're going to have a crypto council. You know what? You're none of that. Nobody cares. You don't make rules. You interpret existing legislation. We've been through 5 years of interpreting it wrong. You come out and say, we're going to interpret it right. They're going to come out, they're going to make rules, and they're going to do this and they're going to do that. And guess what? The old SEC is just like the new SEC. The new one's just like the old one. We don't care. And the CFTC is falling apart as we speak. The CFTC got all of the, everyone's pretty much bailing and leaving. It's going to leave them kind of hamstrung before Brian Quinteros is sworn in.
Perfect.
They don't even have a nomination for him yet, Jeff. He's not even on the books yet I mean, he's nominated, but he's not for his confirmation hearing.
That's right.
That'll be interesting.
So Jim D is saying, are they going to let retailers be exempted from the qualified investor malarkey so all can invest in Ripple Inc. without the shackles of government protection from being made wealthy? And that's a really good point. Because you think about how many investment opportunities retail is prevented from participating in if you're not qualified, you don't meet the specific expectation. And they have adjusted it a little bit, but and it makes it extremely difficult, right? So hopefully, that's one of the changes. The other, from a taxation perspective, can we get rid of capital gains taxes? The other guys, when they were in office and they said if we win, they wanted to have they wanted to tax unrealized gains. So that's any movement that it's just crazy. Let's just get rid of all capital gains. Let's make it fair. Let's find a better solution to support the bottom line and not overtax and overburden the population, which is exactly what we see on a regular basis between your federal tax, income tax, and state tax, property tax, sales tax. Think about how much money everybody's paying in tax. It's so out of control. You probably end up spending easily, between all the taxes, you're probably spending, 50-60% of every dollar goes into some form of a tax. That's how ludicrous it is. And so once we figure out how to adjust and change that, whether it's through the tariff system or something comparable, go to a flat, if you want to have a flat tax, get rid of all income tax, let everybody keep every dollar they earn, will be a major success. And if we can start putting some regulatory clarity together, some rules of the road on crypto, man, it'll be even better. We'll be in such a great place. Look at Spike Count says crypto is the first successful socialism, a thing where lower income groups can also hedge. I don't know if I would quantify that as socialism, but that would be, giving people, opportunities to succeed. Oh, there we go. Steve Forbes. That's right. His flat tax. Steve Forbes was on the forefront of the flat tax proposal. So you think about how long that's been going on.
He's still out there talking about it. So I saw him recently talking about it. But Greg Abbott, who's the governor of California, my God, I get California on my note, of Texas here. So listen to what he has to say about capital gains. Check this out.
This is Governor Greg Abbott, and I am about to sign a joint resolution that will constitutionally ban a capital gains tax in the state of Texas.
That's awesome. It's starting.
It's starting.
How it works.
Voters will vote on this to ensure that we're not going to have a capital gains tax in the state of Texas. The next tax law that I will sign will be a tax law to reduce your property taxes in Texas.
There you go. Now, Jeff, ask yourself a question. Is this a red state or a blue state? Do the blue states that care so much about you always, did they ever talk about tax cuts? Never.
Right. Oh, never. Oh, they never talk about tax cuts. It's always about how much more can they tax you? How much more money? How can they transfer your wealth to any other party? But
how can they bleed you for more money? Is pretty much the way it goes, right? They want to see how much blood they can get out of you. And
this is the funny thing. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
What's that? No, go ahead. Finish your thought.
I lost my thought. That's why I just told you to go ahead.
I was going to comment on the blood. Talking about blood, I've got a quick video to play.
Okay, well, that's an interesting tie-in. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I know what we're playing here.
Yeah.
I know it.
Win a badass yeti from the blue tribe. Word of the day, yeti. Hey, you got your salmon wallet ready? Why? 'Cause this is gonna be epic. It's time to claim your legendary Blue Tribe Yeti of the clan Spirit Walkers. His name, Jan Orfer. On the chain, badass yetis, born for battle, made for legend. Claim yours or be forgotten. Badass yetis on the chain.
Another banger, Jeff. Another banger.
I love that one.
Man, there was a lot going on that one for sure. Did you play any videos at all, Jeff? Did you play any videos or no?
Yeah, I played just the one. No, I
Which
played
one?
two. I played the one right in the beginning, and
Which
then
one?
the
Reese Merrick one from Ripple? Did you play that one?
yeah, I played that
Right.
one, and then played the what's his name from the stool bit.
Oh yeah,
dramatic
oh yeah,
shape.
oh, yeah. Yeah, the FOMO one.
Oh yeah,
the
the FOMO
FOMO.
video. Yeah,
Did he FOMO'd in? That was good. Yeah.
yeah.
All right, cool. I just want to make sure, just want to see where we are here.
Look at all those Yetis. Adrian Stormvarg.
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 Stormvarg is here.
Adrian just got back from the new Arsenal jersey launch. Check that out.
Oh, very
Pretty
cool.
cool.
Very cool. Nice. Very cool, man. Gotta like that.
Yes.
Got let's see here. What was I gonna put on here? There's a couple things that I wanted to talk about. Oh, because I was trying to find the, for some reason I don't think I had the, where is it? Can't find it for some reason. Anyway, but John Deaton has a new radio show, a local radio show on Saturdays. It's called The Hard Truth. It'll be, I'm sorry, every Sunday at 7 p.m. It'll be on iHeartRadio's WRKO 680 AM radio. So I saw this promo, so I thought we'd play this promo. Let me know if you hear this, Jeff. Hopefully I have this up right. Let's see. Because you put this on. This is the promo. Do you hear it?
Into the
Do you hear it?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, just want to double check. Here we go.
Tune into The Hard Truth with John Deaton every Sunday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. on WRKO. John Deaton brings you the raw, unfiltered truth that hits hard and he holds nothing back. John Deaton is a Marine veteran, lawyer, and best-selling author who stared down poverty, survived street violence, and beat cancer to fight another day. Always for the little guy. Join us as we dive into his journey, his vision, and what he hopes to bring to the people of Massachusetts. The Hard Truth with John Deaton every Sunday, 7 to 8 p.m. on WRKO.
Pretty exciting. So
Oh, that's pretty cool.
sounds to me like he's gearing up for a run against the other senator. It's up for
Yep.
for re-election.
That's
That dude's,
It's awesome.
I think that guy's really, he's at the end of his rope. What is that other senator? We always hear about Warren, but who's the other senator from
Are they? They're not even really that relevant. It seems.
is it Shane Massey? Is that it? No, who is it? Senator. You can't even Google this and find it.
Elizabeth Warren and Ed Markey.
Markey is the guy. That's the guy I was thinking about. Yeah, Markey. That dude's
Man.
that dude's seen some better days. That guy.
Oh yeah.
That
Ted
guy's,
Kennedy was the longest serving senator from 1962 until he died in 2009. Can you imagine that? Imagine all
So
those years.
if he had lived longer, he would still be there probably. I mean, this is
Right,
how it is.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. Crypto wealth is at a theme park. I think he's at Six Flags somewhere in Belgium. He said, "Because I'm really addicted to OTC."
Oh, he dropped the pic. Okay, let me put that pic up. If you're saying we can put it on there, let's see. Let me go into let me go check it. Let me go check on the mic. Check 2. Okay, here we go. There it is. Okay. Yeah, let me put it up here. Let me stop sharing here for a second. I'll start sharing again. Let's see here. Here we go. There's where he is. Let's see Crypto Whelp. Let's see. Bam. There he is. It looks like it's like an old burned out rock right there. So you can see the roller coaster in the background. Looks a little bit like one of the theme parks we have here in Florida. Looks like the so what's that called?
Where's that?
Yeah, where's that from? There it is. See that? Bringing you news from around the world. Where exactly is that? Don't know where it is exactly, but there you have it.
And then we had more monkey business. Said Jeff, Google British Gas advert taking care of things. They're using your Yetis as the characters. Nope.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not. I'm not sure if this is it, but
are the Yetis? Are there any Yeti creatures in there?
There's creatures. Here we go. Look at the creatures.
Oh yeah, those look like dude. Those like people in bad suits. Jeez, creepies.
Yeah, they look like.
Yeah,
it's funny. Can't play the music.
Yeah, of course, because sure it's something to be copyright and get in trouble. Yeah, the fuzzies. They look like fuzzies, whatever. But
Fuzzies.
yeah, I could see that. I could see the correlation there. I could definitely see it. I could definitely see it for sure. Fantastic.
So where is he? Someone's saying Jurassic. Jim D said Jurassic Park.
That's what it looks like. Looks like
Yeah.
So I was talking about the CFTC.
Rug pulled Yetis.
Rug pulled. Those are rug pulled Yetis.
Yeti mutants.
Ellie Terrett was talking about the fact. Well, I mean, she's commenting on this one here. The Democrat Commissioner Christy Goldsmith Romero just officially announced her departure from the CFTC. You got Pham. She's leaving. She's the acting CFTC chair. But when Brian Quinteros comes in, she's going to be leaving. But again, they haven't scheduled his hearing yet, so nobody knows when that's going to be. So she's out by the 31st. And what she's saying here is she says it's notable because both Mersinger and Goldsmith Romero will be out by the end of the month, leaving Democrat Commissioner Kristen Johnson and Republican Carolyn Pham, who's announced her intention to leave when Quinteros takes over his chair. Quinteros has yet to have his nomination scheduled. We don't even know. There's nothing set up right now, but a quorum, minimum number of commissioners needed to conduct votes for the CFTC, requires at least 2 commissioners. So both Johnson and Pham will be needed just to hold a vote. If Johnson were to recuse herself or abstain from voting, it would create a major procedural hurdle. Also, with a 1-1 vote, it'd be super hard to get any rulemaking done, especially at a time when Congress is mulling, giving the agency broader authority to crypto through its market structure bill. And so the White House has yet to make any announcement about the replacements for Mersinger or Goldsmith Romero, but whoever fills those roles will be critical to shaping the future of crypto policy in the U.S. I don't know how long. I don't know how. I know she's saying that if something happens, if somebody does recuse themselves, I don't know how often it happens at the CFTC, but she's bringing up a good point. Is if you're down to 2 and you get a tie, and she's saying if the Republican commissioner goes ahead and recuses, then you're going to end up having a tie every time with no way to resolve the tiebreaker. But I imagine I'm sure this will probably get solved, and they can just probably get somebody, and there's a commissioner. I don't know how they do that, or nominate somebody to be commissioner. I don't know if the commissioners need to be vetted and voted on. I think it's just the chair. The chair hires who they want, right? More or less.
I think so. I believe.
Well, they'll bring in Republicans anyway, so
yeah.
But this is going to be really important going forward, because when that Fit 21 bill does come and does get passed, it may not even happen until after the midterms. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
They're always weird about passing stuff during an election year, which 26 will be. But I'm going to call it right now that there will be a massive amount of pickups for the Republicans, only because the Democrats are doing a phenomenal job of just destroying the party by themselves. They just keep stepping in it over and over, and I don't think they have a real shot at picking up seats. I don't know what they don't even have any messaging at this point. Their messaging is anti, anything against Trump or the Republican Party. And people that are fighting for criminals to come back in the country is not a winning message. The polls are reflecting it. They're trying to get off that, but almost at every turn. Then we've come to find out, Jeff, that the 400 million plane that the Democrats can't believe that a foreign country would want. This is what Warren's, Pocahontas is saying. And they're giving Trump $400 million plane, but they don't want anything in return. And then we come to find out that this conversation started a year ago with the Biden administration. And people have weighed in who fly, the second, they always have a backup plane. And they said that the backup plane originally was so old that it had in the seats, the smoking thing, and it was written in their language. So that was a foreign plane as well. And this is a backup for Air Force One. It's not a replacement. And it is something that was, and so then when all of a sudden, when I saw the fake tapper, when the guy was on there talking to the fake tapper, he was saying, yeah, this started under the Biden administration. It's like, then all of a sudden that disappears, that story, because everything that Trump does, he went out there and he just got $1.2 trillion investment in the U.S. from the Middle East. He went out there and he basically went it alone and said, you guys are free to operate. You guys are free to be countries and do what's in the best interest of your country. We don't need the World Economic Forum involved. We don't need Europe involved. We don't need anybody involved. You guys are sovereign countries. You can do what you want. This is not nation building with installed governments. He's given Syria a shot. He's given them a chance to do the right thing. He's given them a shot. They've been basically closed down for 10 years. So he's saying, go ahead. This is your shot. This is your shot at greatness. Let's go. And so he got a credible amount of props in the Middle East. You can see how he was treated. And then, you can see the contrast when Biden went over and visited versus Trump going over and visit. They rolled out the red carpet, gave him the highest honors when they escorted him in. It's just an amazing all around sort of a put on a show. And Trump had great things to say. And I think it's, you can see his foreign policy is very different than previous presidents' foreign policy of, hey, you guys start making your own way and start doing your own thing. And the other thing he did was he took away the China card from all these countries. He's basically saying, we're going to be your partners. We're going to do things together. We're going to have your back. And guess what? And he's kind of boxing out China in this whole thing. So it's a really, people look at it one way in an economic sort of sense, but in another way, it's really a lot bigger than what you're seeing take place, Jeff. I mean, I think it's been spectacular in every sense of the word. Every sense of the word, I say.
Every step.
Every sense of the word. So, let's see what else we have here. If there's any other. Oh, this was something. I don't know, did you put that Garling House post up there at all? This one here.
Which one was that?
He said he's loved it.
Not yet.
Yeah, he put this up. This was on the 15th. It was 2 days ago. I love starting the day seeing my friend Stu Alderoty getting the public recognition he deserves for the amazing work he's done here at Ripple and in support of the crypto industry. And of course, this was a national law review.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
Yep.
Man behind crypto's biggest court victory. Pretty awesome to see his name out there. And when you say biggest court victory, hell yeah. SEC, and here it is. Ripple's chief legal officer since 2019 knew the stakes were high, knew the implications. And he basically said that the SEC provided no clear regulatory guidance on before the lawsuit. And again, they don't provide guidance. The whole thing is their guidance was poorly structured. He said the agencies were regulating by enforcement, meaning that the legal expectations were clarified via cases brought by agencies rather than establishing clear guidelines and rules. talked about the 46 Supreme Court, SEC versus the Howie. 3 contentious years, felt like forever, Jeff, going get this, the battle. Winning strategy impact was celebrated across the crypto ecosystem, said Alderoty on July 13, 2023. Torres ruled that XRP is as a digital token and not, in fact, it's in itself a contract, transaction, or scheme that embodies the Howie requirements. And this is the one thing where, again, I was going back with people, back and forth with folks on X. This is the part they're missing. They're like, what does Ripple care about that? Well, you're talking about the very first ever legal clarity of any digital asset in the United States has legal clarity. Some could say, well, Bitcoin has it. Well, who are you going to sue in Bitcoin, right? You're going to go after Sakamoto? I mean, who are you going to go after? But the point of it is that now you have something on the books saying it doesn't meet the requirement of the Howie test. And that's a huge deal. So
that was a massive deal. Yeah.
Big props to Stu Alderoty for pulling that one out, man.
He did a great job.
Did a great job, man. There's a lot of stuff, and $150 to $200 million later, they luckily, like they said, they had the money to go.
Right. But some others weren't as fortunate.
No.
Look what happened to Jeremy Kaufman's
no, such
Odyssey.
a shame, dude. Such a shame. Such a shame to see that, because he's such a good dude. And it's a sad state of affairs, man. But he didn't have the money to deep pockets. Also, too, that was done in what was that? Was that New Hampshire? Where was that fought? Where was the court district on that?
I don't remember where it was exactly, but it was so bad.
86 years old. The guy was he was like an ancient. He didn't even understand. I don't think he knew what crypto assets were.
He had the whole thing was bad. Yeah, that's Mark. The Panthers did not meet the Howie test last night. That game was a travesty. It was a travesty. They went into the third period 0-0.
Yeah.
They just weren't playing aggressive offense. They were, kind of lulled from the night before with a 6-1 victory. They led 6-0 into 1 minute left in the game on Wednesday. And then they come back in last night, and it was just so crazy. I go over to my neighbor's house over for the third period, and I sit down, and after I sit down, we're talking about it. I'm like, oh shit. Now it was 0-0, now it's 0-1. All of a sudden they score. That was just brutal. The fact they gave that up, they had some opportunities to score. It was at home, just the whole thing just did not look, just didn't look good. Now they have to go, Sunday, be back in Toronto, and now they got to win. They've got to pull this off. So
winner goes,
man,
loser goes home. Be better if the loser stays home.
Yeah, well,
better for the winner to go home.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. In that case, yes, exactly. The loser stays home.
It's a sad state of affairs.
That was bad. That was really bad.
I really honestly thought I did not see that there, that was going to happen. I really thought they were going to win at home. But.
Dude, they won 3 games in a row. 3 in a row, which is pretty big, overall. To pull off a 4th win in a row would be major. Toronto isn't horrible, but last night's showing, the Panthers just didn't play. It was just kind of crazy. Low shots on goal. Wasn't like the goalie, the Toronto goalie was doing anything exceptional. They had like 14, 15 shots on goal, versus, the game before. It was just crazy. And how do you go from a 6-0 to a 0-2 defeat? It's just, how does that, that's hockey. It's amazing.
It's weird about hockey. It's like you can go down, you can blow somebody out one night, and then the next, 2 days later, you get, lose hard fought when you should have just wrapped it up and been on to round 2. I mean, that's what it really should have been, but it's a sad thing, man. But
that's right. And for the weather news, man, I think it's going to be hot today.
It's going to be hot, man.
Be hot.
It's always going to be hot. Every day it's hot. In Florida, there's three weather patterns. It's wicked hot, it's hot, or it's
not so hot.
Not so hot. That's it.
Well, it came out of the greatest season. Every day it's been in the low 80s, and then yesterday 97. At least that's what my car said. So it was supposed to be 91. When I was driving back, it said 97. It was brutally hot yesterday. That was crazy.
It was definitely a barn burner.
Yeah.
So
there you go. They will choke Game 7. Charles, you heard it here first.
Let's hope that is the case. And like I said, anything can happen. You don't want to get overconfident, but obviously there could be something like that. We'll see what happens. I wanted to talk a little bit about Trump's his visit to the.
Colin wants to know what software we use for those great tunes that we're making.
I'd like to know that
software.
Secret. I can't tell you, man.
It's the secret sauce.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man.
Takes a couple different software.
Yeah, not taking a shot at making legit music, being a musician myself and knowing how to craft lyrics and knowing how to write a good prompt. I mean, it's amazing the stuff that I'm blown away by what I'm able to do. And I'll be releasing an album of a fictional band with fictional members with my lyrics, my know-how, but I'm gonna put it out, and I've got like 4 songs together. I get about 2 more that I think are good. It's a lot of iteration with AI, but I'm pretty excited. What's that?
Do you want to do a preview? Play one?
Yeah, let me see if I can pull it up, and then you'll see the software we use. You'll see the software. If you guys pay attention, if you're really paying attention, you probably could see.
If you pay attention.
Let me see if I can up here. And that's the thing about this. I've made over 1,200 songs, Jeff. So you see the iteration that goes into, getting one of them.
It's amazing. Right. They don't all come out the way you want them to come out, and you got to adjust. And Colin says, "Can I join the fictional band?"
Oh yeah, you can, dude.
I think Chip needs some roadies.
It's a fictional band, of course. Colin, you're in. Colin's in. Fictional band. Fictional band. You have to be
fictionally play.
Well, what's funny is I've got the name of the singer. His name is Fenn. His name is Fenn Loxley. Is the name. I've named the fictional singer. I'm coming up with his name is Fenn Loxley. I mean, it is really so much fun to but let me put on this tune here. What do I just have to share it right on the
Yep.
Second. Okay, here we go. So funny thing is, I wrote these lyrics. My gosh, I don't know. Like I have a whole book of, and I just write stuff down all the time. And then I was like, let me kind of like revive. And then I put them in my Dropbox. So I had them all digital, so I could just run through there and kind of craft them that way. But I will go ahead and let's just preview this one. Where is the? Here we go. Share screen. This one right there. There we go. Okay, here we go. So tell me if you hear this, Jeff. You should hear it. You hear that?
Yeah. No, because you haven't shared it yet. You got to share it. Put it up on the screen. Put it up. Here we go. Jim D says Chip has a new career opportunity, a human cyborg bridge between AI generated lyrics and stoner rock and roll. and Chad is the air drummer, by the way.
Air drummer, beautiful.
There you are. No, there's the lyrics too. Put it up whenever you're ready. Be awesome. So the secret, call it, is also to use make sure if you write your own lyrics, which is great, you can do that. You can clean up the cadence in ChatGPT and tell it what kind of music you want and make sure you prompt that right. Make sure it doesn't adjust all your words, but you can have it help you with cadence, help specific beat, help come up with a specific style. And so you can you have a good starting point based off of the ChatGPT commentary. You can have it write something up, and then when you use this software, then you start plugging in and you start adjusting even further, based on correct style prompting. But a lot of it comes down to the cadence and understanding how to break it up. Like you can see what Chip did over here, like with a chorus, and it's amazing. So, and I've been playing around. You can do male vocals, female vocals. Now I'm playing around with different accent vocals. So you can do like British male vocal. And so if you start playing around with that, and then figure out what kind of depth you want from it, what type of speed within your cadence. So if you have the cadence of the lyric prepped, and then you can speed the beat to the, to that. And it's just all, based off the prompting. But what'll inevitably happen, like what Chip was saying, you'll generate it. And when you listen through it, like when I do the, for the Badass Yetis, each one you'll get a mispronunciation somewhere, or they'll skip lyrics. So as you listen through, so then you just gotta and I had a couple that were amazing. Like starts off, everything's perfect, and then it gets to like Blue Tribe, and it says Blue Tribby,
Yeah.
or it doesn't say Epic, or it
So it's
doesn't
something
say
weird
the
like that.
name. It doesn't say, it misses like the whole, they'll miss a whole segment. And like, how does it, and then you get it. So you delete, you redo, and then you want to make sure you're fine tuning, the sound and intonation of everything, which is really cool. Man,
Well, the other
tech is
thing
out of
too
control.
that I'm doing, it's a lot different too, is I'm uploading my own. I've got a lot of
Right.
demos, so I've uploaded demos. I've uploaded some guitar tracks. I'll upload a guitar track, so it's based on something. I've also stripped my vocals off of my other songs and made new versions of them. So it's my voice, but it's making a brand new version in a different style. So I've stripped my voice off like other recordings that I've done, and so that's where I think the big sort of game changer for me is. And then too, like if I take a guitar part, I upload a guitar part. You can even hum a melody into this. But what we use is Suno, Suno.com, Suno.com. You have so many free credits a day, but Jeff and I both have the paid version. But it's just an amazing piece of software that I spent way too much time of my life on. I mean, it's I don't know if I can,
All right, so
but
let's
I'll
hear
just
one of yours here.
let me preview. I'll preview. Let's see. Hang on a second. Here we go. Let me try to find. I'm going to play one of these where I made a new version of one of my tunes. Yeah. Okay. So I'll just trip you through some of these songs that took my voice, stripped it, put it on here, created a brand new version of one of my tunes. This is She Don't Know, but it's a couple of different sort of versions of it.
We don't hear anything. Chip, we don't hear it.
You don't hear it?
No.
Weird. How do you hear it?
I don't know.
Let me see. Oh, I wish you would have told me sooner. I was thinking you were hearing that. I don't know how I'm sharing the sound from. Oh, let's see. That's weird. You know what? I don't think the first time
I don't think you were sharing the sound, because now it actually tells you if you're sharing sound over here, and then you can mute the screen audio once you share it. Look at that. That's new.
Oh, you know what?
So when you share it, you have to make sure you share the audio.
It's weird.
Yep.
Okay, let me try. Unfortunately,
The new one, the sound of silence.
That's weird because I was sharing that on a different browser. That's
weird.
See what I mean? So
Yeah. So you weren't. Were you sharing your screen, or are you sharing?
No, I was just sharing the screen. I never shared the
that's
audio.
even weirder.
Which is really strange, right? Because I mean, because I don't think you can share. Yeah, because I can only share, unfortunately, the software. I'm gonna have to switch over to Chrome 100%.
Yeah,
that's very strange. Because
that's bizarre.
Did they change something here?
No.
Oh no! How did you hear
still
that?
got to go in.
Because I shared a Brave tab on a Chrome browser. How did you?
Yeah, everything else we could hear. But if you
so
go into, let's make sure you're sharing your audio. There you go. Like on this one, I can tell it's audio. I can even see the volume. When you had the other one up, I didn't see your audio. Like the one that you have there, the guy on Trump, I can adjust the audio on my side. I can turn it up and down.
So that's something,
and I can mute it. That's new. Now that I mute it, I can't unmute it. That's not nice.
Okay, so that's wild, dude. I didn't even know that that was an issue. But let's see. Let's go to share screen. Let's go here. Okay. So now you should be able to see the screen, right?
Oh, now I see it. I don't see the screen yet, but I see the audio now.
Okay,
So
there
now
you go.
throw it up on stage.
There you go.
Now it should play.
Yeah, so here we go.
She thinks out loud. It's always something more than we bargained for. She walks down. Gonna meet her at the corner of Fairfax, baby. When we lie down, infectious dreams is what it's gonna.
So I stripped the voice off another tune and put it on here. I made a whole brand new version, which is insane.
Insane. That's so cool.
She don't know why.
So I'll just give you another. Let's see. Yeah, let's see. So I just made a ton of them.
She walks in. She has a right to. She don't try.
So I'm just going with the ones with the thumbs up. So you can see they all have a different vibe to them, you know?
Looking better than she has a right to.
It's absolutely insane, man, what it does.
It's amazing how it totally adjusts the song pattern.
I'm trying to find one that's.
She walks in. Looking better than.
I mean, it's crazy. Grunge version, you know?
It's amazing.
That's crazy how it did so many different, you know, so many different versions, man. Let's see. There's another one. There's another good one here that I was trying to find. Weird. I don't see it here. But it's like a garage version. Oh, you know why? Because I didn't scroll up. That's why, dude. Okay. There you go. There we go. Yeah, this is it right here.
She thinks out loud.
I'll take it to the chorus here.
We give in to the thoughts that haunt us. She don't know why I think about her all the time. She don't know, cause she tries to suffer though. So suffer through it alone.
It's insane, dude. It's insane.
So
yeah, there's so many cool, so many cool parts of that.
So you can separate the lyrics and also each instrument on different tracks?
You can create, there's stems where you can download just the music, and then you can separate there's a little bit of bleed over when you remove the vocal. So if you wanted if you technically wanted to re-record it, you could.
Right.
If you wanted record your own vocal over it, you technically could do that.
Because you can do instrumental only.
Exactly. Yeah, you could do something along those lines. But I was going to, let's see.
How many Yetis do we have in, by the way?
How many Yetis? What?
How many people have typed in Yeti?
Oh, let me look. Let me take a look. Let's take a look at how many we have in the. Let me look at the what kind of damage we have over here. You know what? I don't think we don't have enough.
All right.
127. I'm kidding. That's not true. 16.
16. All right. Well, I'm going to play this, and you guys got to type in Yeti because we're very close to doing the drawing for
people drawing
Badass Yeti. It's not just any Badass Yeti. It's a Badass Yeti from the blue tribe of the clan Spirit Walkers. His name, Yarn Ulfar. Yarn Ulfar. So here we go.
Win a Badass Yeti. From the blue tribe. Word of the day. Yeti. Hey! You got your salmon wallet ready. Why? 'Cause this is gonna be epic. It's time. Time to claim your legendary Blue Tribe Yeti of the clan Spirit Walkers. His name, Jan Alfred.
On the chain, badass yetis, born for battle, made for legend. Claim yours or be forgotten. Badass yetis on the chain.
Yeah, that's a banger right there, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is a
Yarn Ulfar and
Yarn offer. That's really cool. That is really cool, guys. If you guys had the chance, you got to type in Yeti. We got a couple more pickups. We went from 16 to 22. If there's any late people out there want to just run in there, is Yarn Offer the fictional band? No, man, he got booted. He's out of the band, dude.
Oh, he's kicked out.
He got kicked out. No, they're the road crew. They're they work security. So the Yetis work security, Jeff.
Yeah, that's exactly what they do.
Offer. Yeah, Colin, if you want to hit me up on X, hit me up, DM me on X, and I'll give you. I can answer some of your questions and stuff. If you want to know. Yarn Offer makes up all these names. Yeah, dude. Well, these are based on Nordic and Viking folklore. That's why they're missing a lot of vowels. But yeah, all of the Badass Yetis have an original name. All 589 of them. So. And may I remind people that we're trying to sell this out, guys. So we're getting very close to the end here of going full sellout. And before I do the thing, I want to just go ahead and mention that. And we are getting ready. Jeff and I were working the other night on the Badass Chimps. The Badass Chimps are almost ready for mint. And but this is where, if you go, I'll drop it in the website. It's there. 86%. We're trying to sell this out. If you want to go ahead and mint one, you connect your Zaman wallet. You connect it up here. You collect mint, and then you can go ahead and a Badass Yeti. You can go ahead and mint one, and we're getting close to the edge on 589. It'll be a total sellout, and then it'll just only be remarketed after that. So we got 229 holders there. 9% of them, 9.5% of the people have relisted them. What we see right down here, but let's see. I will go ahead and we put this in the chat here. You guys, you don't have a Badass Yeti, or you want to add to your collection, there it is right there. Go click on that. You connect your Zaman wallet up here. Wallet's already connected. You click mint, and you get a random one. You don't know what you're going to get. It's like a blind box. You click on it, and next thing you know, you end up with one of the tribe members. But you'll get one of the Badass Yetis. These are the ones down here, the ones the different ones you can take a look at. So that's what's at stake here, guys. So go ahead and get yourself a Badass Yeti. It's 16 XRP for a Badass Blue Tribe member. The White Tribe member is 12 XRP. And the Badass Chimps are getting ready to roll out, Jeff. We previewed those, so people are excited about them. So we'll be rolling those out hopefully in the next week or two. Is that we're looking targeting, trying to coordinate it with XRP Cafe, which is where the Yetis live, of course. And here we go, guys. Let's go ahead and give this a drawing. We've got 25 in here. You got 2 more people jumped in. Here we go. Let's see who's gonna win a Badass Yeti. Go. Here it goes. Charles, boom, and look at that. It's right before Charles. Charles, the big winner here.
Tamarello,
another Badass Yeti. Tamarello. But it was funny because we saw Colin's name come up. It always teases you with that. Oh, I think I want, and no, it's Charles.
Rigged.
Rigged. Congrats, Charles. Well, the good news, guys, I put the if you guys want to go ahead, just go ahead and go there, and you can go ahead and get your own very own. Helps out the show, and you can go ahead and get your own badass Yeti. There he goes. Boom, quick, tons of congrats. Beautiful. Follow. I know Charles is here, so.
Charles, are you still here?
We still need to see you chime in over here, though.
That's right. If he left.
589, baby.
Man.
Of course, 589. 589. 589. We're close to it. We're gonna sell this out. It's gonna be exciting.
We need to.
You're not on X. Okay, sorry about that. We'll just dude, go get yourself. Go on X. Takes you 3 seconds to open up an account. It's not the big deal, man. I mean, you're missing a lot of stuff. You're not on X, but that's why we read it here, so you don't have to. So you don't have to look for it. We read the X post, so you don't have to.
There he is. Charles is here. Charles is here. Zober, my rug has been rigged.
Okay, he just put his wallet up there too, dude.
They did, all right.
Yeah, boom, right there. He said boom. See that? He's in the John.
Do now.
That's what my dad says. My dad's favorite joke is like, he said, you know how Trump went ahead and renamed the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. My dad renamed the John in his house. He named it the gym. He goes, yeah, I go to the gym twice a day. They go, oh wow, that's awesome. He renamed the John the gym. So instead of going to John twice a day, he goes to the gym twice a day.
It's very funny.
Yeah, he dropped the address. Yeah, we saw that.
Yeah, I'm about to transfer this bad boy.
Big beat downs here. The big beat down, not the small. Don't get this confused with the mild to medium beat down. This is the big beat down, baby. I'm messing around. Awesome, dude.
Sliding to accept. Dude. Here we go. This bad boy is going to be yours in 2 seconds.
Gotta love that, man.
It is verifying. Boom. Submitted successfully over to Charles Tomarello. This bad boy is now yours. Badass Yeti number 471. Check it out. That guy's cool.
Isn't that awesome, man?
Yarn Olfar.
Yarn Olfar. Say that 3 times fast.
Yarn Olfar.
Yeah, just click on the image itself so we can get a bigger picture of him. There we go. Yeah,
that guy.
There it is.
That's Yarn right there. Look at those teeth.
Mm-hmm. Hey now. Hey now. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Now yours.
Yours.
Sweet. That's it.
That's it, man. That's all we know. That's all we have. So, guys, be back tomorrow night. Crypto Whelp, enjoy the rest of your time at the theme park. And we will, here we go. We didn't play this. Margaritas. Margaritas. Gotta play that.
Is it risky? Is it risky?
No.
Is it risky?
No, not at all.
It's not risky. Margaritas.
Margaritas. Gotta love it. Margaritas.
Margaritas.
Wait, what is it?
Badass Yetis on the chain. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we'll take it out of here, guys. We will take it out of here. We'll see you guys tomorrow night on the chain, where we will be giving away yet another Badass Yeti. We got to give away some White Tribe too. And then very soon indeed, we will be giving out the Badass Chimps. That's coming up, guys. We'll need a big kickoff on that.
And we still have some land available too.
Get some land we
can give away. We've been holding the land. We got to give away the land.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man.
How many plots of land do we have here? Let me see. I think we had 4 plots of land that we have to give away. If XRP wants to validate my human. Yep. We have 4 plots of land to give away over at Xspector. So Hillside City. All 4 of them are in Hillside City.
Hillside.
Well, we'll be giving those guys away soon in the near future. There they are right there. Those 4. That'll be pretty kick-ass.
So got lots of stuff to give away, man. Lots of stuff to give away, people. All right.
I thought Blue Tribe Yeti, they're not related to the Smurfs. They're badass Yetis.
No, the Smurfs. Who put the Smurf reference in there? Come on now, people.
Well,
Come on now.
I get how, he could almost confuse some of them, but these are the badass Yetis. There's different clans within the badass Yetis, but I could see how if you were to think about a Yeti as a Smurf or as a Smurf as a Yeti, maybe one of these guys could almost make it, but
Yeah, they're not as they're way
No,
cooler
we're
than the Smurfs, but
no
Jeff, you want to preview? Let's show what the badass
Broad
chimps look like.
beard. All right, let's do a quick preview of check out these badass chimps.
So
These
this
guys
is
are
what badass
kick-ass.
chimps
We
look like.
finally finished it.
Look at those badasses. Look at that. Look at those. Yeah. Look at that. Got the revolutionary gear on right there. You gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. The fedora, hoodies. There. Look at that right there, man. Spacesuit. Hell yeah. It's American spacesuit.
All right.
That one's happy. Don't mess with that badass, man. You have that description, Jeff, that you can read while we're flipping through here?
Oh yeah.
To read that. Look at that. He's got a little stub nose revolver there.
Where do we put it?
That's a James Bond looking badass chimp right there. Yeah, it's in the keep under badass
Kinda
chimps.
funny.
There you go.
Oh, was it
Look
under
at that.
badassery?
That's the Viking hat with the exposed no skin.
So Chip, you ever minted an NFT that looks like it was sketched during a sugar crash in kindergarten? Yeah, not here. The badass chimps, 131 unique traits of pure, unfiltered badassery. They didn't sneak back. They didn't sneak in the back. They kicked the damn door off the hinges, slapped your floor with muddy boots, and said, legacy is loud. Hope you brought earplugs. No utility bribes, no roadmap yoga circles, no token launch moon dances. Snag a badass chimp and join the motherfucking uprising. If you need a safe space after that, try knitting. We're busy being legends.
Dude, legends, baby, legends. Join the uprising. That's what it is. Look at that right there. He's going to war. It's some revolutionary gear right there. So yeah, this is it. Some of the more rare ones are holding something in their hand, like the popcorn, which you'll need for the next 3.5 years as things play out. Or maybe a flight jacket you'll need with a nice bucket hat, or maybe you're pimping in style and you need a nice good fur coat. That's always a possibility. Get the lab coat too. That's another rarity. That's the good doctor, mixing up this thing. Got some army fatigues in there. Yeah, it's got the whole thing, man.
These guys are cool.
Yeah, so you guys can get an idea what these puppies look like. Different expressions, different hats, different, whole stuff. See that right there? That's the rocker, dude. Look at this. This is skull breaker. Look at that. Oof. Damn. With the guitar in hand, ready to rock out. There's the bones. So yeah, guys, that's pretty excited about this launch. So let you guys know when it's going live, and we will make a splash.
Chimp Guevara.
That's great, dude. That's great. Gotta love it. Gots to love it. So that's all we have today, guys. We will see you guys on the next one. We will be getting out of here. Let me see what I'll play. I'll play the older outro. Should I play that one? I'll play the long outro. We haven't played that in a while.
Play the long one.
Jeff, out. See you guys tomorrow night.
Out.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.